السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا زدنا علما. اللهم فقهنا في الدين. اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وأملا متقبلا آمين يا رب العالمين. So here we are with session number 238 for Quranic Arabic grammar, in which we are going to learn Surah Al-Fath. We have covered few verses in our first session. We were Alhamdulillah able to complete first 5 verses of Surah Al-Fath, and Sister Faiza was doing the verse number 5, and we have covered in the first session for Surah Al-Fath, Inna, we have covered Alamatu Nasbu, Filul Mudari, we have covered different types of sentences and how the status is going to be for different types of sentences. We have learned and reviewed in detail maful mutlaq, its types, its amil, and we also covered a very special type of wow that can be followed by a sentence that comes in between two grammatically related structures, and we have learned how we are supposed to make sure that we find and look for an amil right close to the verse. If I have liyudkhila, so what I have to make it muta'alliq to, I must look at something that is closest to liyudkhila before going to the fatahna. I will have to look, is there any fail that I can connect li yudkhila to, that is present closer to li yudkhila, rather than going all the way to the beginning of the surah or 10 verses before, right? So let me just do this 1 second. Okay. Okay. So we in the last session we were also going over how kana is going to be fail naqis nasikh, and its ism is going to be the only possibility when it is naqis, because if kana does not act like fail tam, it cannot have a doer, right? But if kana is fail tam, can it take a doer? What do you think, my dear sisters? Before I ask Sister Fashabi to continue and Sister Faiza to review the last few verses, what do you think? Yes, it is going to be able to take a file. Barakallahu fikum. Very, very well done. Beautiful job. So now I'm going to ask Sister Faiza if she can tell me what are some of the cases where your sahibul hal can be common. Before I ask Sister Fashabi, I will just want to cover up until verse number 5 the few concepts that are still, I want to touch upon again, inshallah. So, Sister Faiza, I just, was, doing with you how Jannat was a commonism followed by a sifa which was tajri min tahtiha al-anhar, and then came khalidina fiha, the whole chunk, khalidina with its muta'alliq bil, and we called it hal for al-mu'minat and al-mu'minin. We called it hal for al-mu'minin wal-mu'minat. However, we said that it can be possible, that it can be the hal of Jannah, that this is a type of Jannah that will have its residents abide therein forever and ever. So, what are the cases where you will find your sahibul hal as a communism? It does not have to be proper.
Okay, so one of the cases, this one in which we are seeing there is Sahibul Hal is actually taking a sifa. So this is one of the case. Another case, it can be the when Sahibul Hal takes Mudaf ilahi. So it is in the Idafa fragment. Another case that we learned is where if it is coming after negation, or there is a question sentence, or there is a forbidding.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Another case can be when your Sahibul Hal has a Jumla Halia which is preceded by Wow. So there's a
Mm-hmm.
Wow Halia and then Jumla is coming. In that case, your Sahib can be common.
Mm-hmm.
Another one was if your Hal is coming before your Sahibul Hal.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and there was one more, which was a little different. And yeah, when your sahibul hal, there are two sahibul hal, in which one is the first one is proper, and if the second one can be common. In
Very,
that,
very well.
you can see different cases when sahibul hal is common.
Very good job. Barakallahu feek. Do you all agree with Sister Faiza? And I have the slide in for everyone to review. These are the concepts that seem to be, at some point, everyone has learned Sahibul Hal as a proper ism. But then, as we were learning our advanced grammar, we went over the cases where we did find that Sahibul Hal is allowed to be common, but there are conditions, and these conditions are have been enumerated by Sister Faiza, that if there is a negation or a question in that sentence, you can find your sahibul hal being a commonism like karya here, or when a sahibul hal has a sifa or is a mudaf. In that case, it can have a hal. When the sahibul hal is found in a sentence that is preceded by waw al halia, um, when the hal is preceded by vowel halia, in that case the sahibul hal before that vowel halia can be common, or when the sahibul hal is before hal, and so on and so forth. So everyone got it so far? And have you ever seen this before? This slide, we have covered this in a topic when we were doing Surat Ar-Rahman. Okay, for everyone to review, we have covered this topic when we were learning Surah Ar-Rahman. So I'm now going to call upon Sister Fashabi to continue. And Sister Faiza, your Jumlatul Etoradiya, just before I take Sister Fashabi, your Jumlatul Etoradiya, we have been saying that Islam halalaha min al-Arab. So, do you remember the exact definition of Jumlatul Itiradiyya?
Yes, when it is interjecting between two grammatically connected sentences.
Or structures, right? Or
Yes.
structures. It can be present between two grammatically connected sentences or grammatically connected structures. If you use structures, it will keep it open to include a fragment or to include anything.
Mutalik and
So
yes.
it's going to be easy for you, inshallah. Okay, barakallahu feek. So now, Sister Fashabi, I will request you to continue with verse number 6 of Surah Al-Fath, which is starting with Wayu Aziba.
Bismillah. Wa harfe ataf.
Mm-hmm.
Yu'adhiba fail mudare fail mudare maftu bi fatatu zahira mansub bi fatatu zahira ya is huwa zamir mustatir ya is alamatul mudare
Mm-hmm.
al
Shabi,
munafikina.
I have a
Yes.
question here. So
Hmm.
this vow, will you ever be confused about this vow that it is not vow atf? Can it be any other type of vow about this vow that is right before you aziba? Should there be ever any confusion about this vow? Because sometimes there are vows.
Wow, wow, Maya, which mansub mudare.
It can be sometimes, there can be wow ma'ayya.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yes.
here, based on the context, based on the context, do we need to think about any other wow? لِيُدْخِلَ
Yes.
or وَيُؤَذِّبَ? Do you think that should we think about wow ma'ayya in here?
No, this is wow harfi ataf. You
Very
aziba matuf yudkhila mudare.
Yeah, so you have you very clearly have something that is transferring a status from one place and giving it to another place, right? There is,
Yes.
and you have a mudare mansoob bil atf. Mudar
Yes.
mansoob bil at, you never ever think about istinaf, you never ever think about etrad, right? These are the cases
Yes.
where you never want to fool yourself with anything. You know that this wow just simply took the status from yudkhila and gave it to yu'aziba. I am going to just stick to wow al at. I'm not going to confuse myself with anything else. If it was to be vowel ma'ayya, there are conditions for that vowel to be there, right? It has to be preceded by nafi or asali butal. We don't see any of that, right? In based on
Yes,
the
yes,
context, we're not finding anything. So we are
yes.
only and only going to think of it as vowel atf, as you have correctly identified it. And I'm going to let you continue. You called it mudare
Uh,
mansoob fatatu zahira. You called your file damir mustatir hua, and now comes your word al munafiqina.
المنافقين منصوب بالياء لأنه جمع مذكر سالم.
Mm-hmm.
ياء الإعراب اسم الفاعل مفعول به. واو التف المنافقات معطوف على منافقين منصوب بالكسرة لأنه جمع مؤنث سالم مفعول به
Mm-hmm.
اسم فاعل. واو التف again والمشركين معطوف with منافقين and منافقات.
Mm-hmm.
مشركات معطوف على مشركين اسم
Yeah,
الفاعل.
yeah. I'm just
And
going to
for जी
I'm going to stop you here for a second. Always remember, you have one thing identified when you have murakkabe atf. What is going to be your matuf alayhi in this chunk?
معطوف عليه منافقين والمنافقات. معطوف مشركين والمشركات معطوف عليه.
No, no, no. So you
No,
are
no,
just
पहले वाला
uh,
मुनाफिक हाँ मातूफ अलैहि and this
only
is
and only, yeah.
मातूफ on
Yeah, one is
हाँ
going to be
वाला
matuf alayhi, which is al
हाँ
munafiqeen. Okay.
ना हाँ
And the rest is going to be al munafiqat is one, matuf one, as you are saying. Al mushrikeen matuf two. Al mushrikat,
मुशरिकात मातूफ.
mushrikat is going to be matuf number three. Always remember that. You have one matuf alayhi, and you have to connect rest to that matuf alayhi through vows, through a chain. Okay? Your matuf alayhi is going to be just one. You don't start making, like, I cannot chop off this part and treat it separately. That al munafiqat here is my matuf alayhi for al mushrikina. Al mushrikina is going to be matuf alayhi for al mushrikat. No, it's going to be just al munafiqina. That is going to be the matuf alayhi. Rest are matuf one, matuf two, matuf three. Is this clear to each
Yes,
and every one of you? And this holds true for your fail as well. For your fail as well, the same principle is going to work. You cannot say that if you have three af'al, for example, liyakfira is matuf alayhi. So your yutimma, matuf 1, your yahdiya, matuf 2. Everyone, do not confuse yourself. And your matuf 3 in the first three verses is going to be Yansura. Okay? Don't say that, for Yansura, my matuf alayhi is Yahdiya. No, your Yaghfira is matuf alayhi, and Yutima matuf 1, Yahdiya matuf 2, Yansura matuf 3. Okay? So now let's continue, Sister Fashabi. I will love to hear from you.
ظانين
Mm-hmm.
منصوب صفة of مفعول به منافقين
Mm-hmm.
والمنافقات والمشركين والمشركات صفة ظانين.
Very good job.
بالله جار مجرور متعلق بالظانين.
Very good.
زن مفعول مطلق. السو مجرور بالإضافة.
Okay, Barakallahu Fiki. I will stop you here. So now,
Yes.
you are telling me that Ghanna is your maful mutlaq. So what type
Yes.
of amil this maful mutlaq has? Can you tell me the type of amil for this maful mutlaq based on your verse number 6?
The amil for maf'ul mutlaq can be ism, asma mushtaqqa, and masdar. Maf'ul mutlaq are three types: maf'ul mutlaq muakkad lil fi'l, maf'ul mutlaq mubayyan lil naw, maf'ul mutlaq mubayyan lil adab. In this particular ayah, maf'ul mutlaq mubayyan lil naw to describe the action.
Very good job. And here now tell me
And
what your amil, we are focusing first on amil and then we'll go to see what type of maful mutlaq is there. First we are going to focus on amil. Is it one, two, or three? And I think you are telling me that here the amil for zanna sawi is your ism mushtaqa.
yes, Zonina,
Very good
Ismul
job.
File,
Very well
Ismul
done.
File.
Very good job. Now you can tell me the type of your maful mutlaq as you have been describing it to be that it can be of three types and you can continue that it can be mubayyin lin no it can be for tawkid, it can be for your mubayyin lil adad. So you are saying that here again we are noticing a maf'ul mutlaq that has come up as mudaf. So it's going to be type 2, right?
Yes,
Everyone agrees with
yes.
that? Everyone agrees with Sister Fashabi, right? She's absolutely right. And have you noticed that in the first verses that were attempted by our dear sister Dilruba, she has taught us how there was a fail that has come up as an amil for maful mutlaq. Now you're seeing a case where ism mushtaqa, a derived noun, ism file, azannina, is coming up as an amil for maful mutlaq. Very, very well done. Now let's continue with the next part. Or do you have to say anything
Ali,
else?
Alayhim, Jar Majroor, Murakkabi Jarri,
Mhm,
Khabar Muqaddam, Da'iratu, Mudaf, As-Sawi, Majroor bil Idafa, Mubtada Muakhar,
mhm,
Taqdeem, Jawazan, Jais here,
mhm,
Wa, Ataf, Ghadiba, Fail Madi, Allahu, Fa'il, Zahir, Alayhim, Mutalik bil Fail, Jumla Failya,
mhm.
La Mahalla, Matuf ala Jumla عليهم دائرة
Very good job.
وأتى لعانة فعل ماضي هم مفعول هو ضمير مستتر معطوف غضب فعل
Mhm. Matuf ala.
and ها معطوف على غضب فعل و حرف عطف أعد فعل ماضي هو ضمير مستتر
Mhm.
لهم جار مجرور متعلق بالفعل جهنم is مفعول به ممنوع من الصرف اسم علم سماعي hard feminine
Very good job. And that is why it is mamnu min as-sarf because it is muannas samai
ممنوع من الصرف
and it is ism
it
alam.
اسم علم it take not kasra
Yeah, why?
جهنم
Yeah,
جهنم
so here we don't have anything of that sort that it has to be ghair munawwan only. We have to focus on that because here it is coming up as mansoob, but as you said that it is mamnu min as-sarf. What made this mamnu min as-sarf? I think you are trying to say that this is because it is a muannas name, it is a
سمعي
feminine name that made it. There has to be two reasons for a name to be feminine, and one of the reason is that a word is a name that is going to make it partly flexible. And the second reason is being feminine is going to make a name partly flexible. And both reasons are the reasons for Jahannam to be partly flexible. First, it is a name. Second, it is a feminine word. Both of the reasons, there must be two reasons for Ism Alam to be partly flexible. And here, the first reason, Ism Alam. Second reason, feminine, is qualifying for a word Jahannam to be partly flexible, as said by Sister Fashabi. Sister Fashabi, you called غضب الله عليهم as لا محل لها من الإعراب, and you made it معطوف على عليهم
داير
دائرة السوء.
دايرة
So what made this jumla لا محل لها من الإعراب? Yes, jumla معطوفة, the sentences. If your معطوف عليه sentence is لا محل, your معطوف is going to be لا محل. But what made عليهم دائرة السوء as لا محل?
إطرادية
Can it be itradiya or probably it's going to be more correct to be calling this sentence as jumla isti'nafiya. It is most likely to be jumla isti'nafiya because when you will go move forward, you may not find anything, you know, that is going to be connected with zanna sowi. Okay, so if the sentence was present between two grammatically related structures, then you call it etarad. But if it is a new topic, if it is a new topic, kind of a new shift where you don't find a connection, grammatical connection with whatever has been mentioned before, then you can call that sentence as istinaf. And yes, this is going to be la mahalla laha min al i'rab bil istinaf. This is going to be la mahalla bil atf, and so is going to be la'ana wa a'adda, all going to be la mahalla laha min al i'rab through atf. And then comes your final sentence of your words, wasa'at masira.
Wow, istinaf. Sa'at is from aslubul mad wazam. In aslubul mad wazam, three components: fail mad, fa'il, and maqsusa.
Asif Pujabi, how about you continue with the Arab first, and then I'm going to ask you questions. Okay.
Okay. Sa'at, fail madi, fail zam, hiya zamir mustatir.
Good job.
Masira, tamyiz. Sa'at, fail mad, this fail is jamid and lazim. There is no maful bihi, no mudari and amr, and it takes tamyiz.
Very good job.
And in some cases, maksusa is mahzoof.
Very well done.
And these afals file is with al moraf bil lam and ism moraf bil idafa zamir mustatir and ism mausul.
So what Sister Fashabi is trying to tell us all is that when it comes to these af'al like sa'a or words of, you know, these kinds, these af'al are going to be always jamid. Having said so, the fail jamid means they cannot have failul amr form, they cannot have mudari form, right? That is what fail jamid means. When it comes to an ism mansoob being present in a fail like sa'a or nema bi'sa or hasuna or the fail of those sort, if you find something, mansoob in status, it can never ever be maf'ulun bihi. Why so? The reason you have already said, Sister Fashabi, I think because all these af'al are going to be lazim, right? That is why they are going to never take mafulun bihi, right? Anytime you find an ism in the sentences with these af'al and that is nasb status, you are never going to call them maf'ul because these are lazim af'al, cannot take mafulun bihi. They can only take what is called tamyiz. When it comes to particularly Nema or Besa, we have covered how their file is always going to be proper. As you have said that it can be either ism mu'arraf bil lam or ism mu'arraf bil idafa or damir mustatir, which is all damir are proper, and it can be ism mawsul as well. And then you said that there are three parts of this construction that you have been teaching us, and those three parts are there can be there can be a failul mat wazam, then there will be a file for that failul mat wazam, and then there is makhsus. And makhsus, as Sister Fashabi has said, does not always have to be there. If it is understood from the context, it does not have to be there. Sister Fashabi, what do you think can be the makhsus which has been omitted from the sentence in this verse which says Sa'at Masira? What is the makhsus?
Jahannam.
Jahannam. Very well done. Sister Fashabi, can we ever see gender mismatch in these type of af'al?
Yes.
Right? We can see a gender mismatch as well. But very well done. Sister Fashabi called this waw as waw istinafiya, and some may call it wow halia and call it call the sentence as sa'ad masira as fi mahalli nasbin hal for jahannam, and both ways are going to be correct because they have been found in authentic books of Arab. Okay, so Sister Fashabi, are you going to continue the next ayah as well, or you were just assigned verse number 6?
Verse number 6 only.
Okay, barakallahu fiki, my dear sister. Beautiful job. Beautiful job.
Sister, habbaza, la habbaza,
Mhm.
za, isme ishara is the file of fail habbaza.
Yeah, that is how we have covered that. It's going to be, no matter what the gender is going to be, ra is going to be the file for those. Yeah. Sister Faiza, what is your question?
So, Sister Simon, can alayhim daira to so be hal of these munafiqeen?
Yeah, so if I was to do it a couple of years ago, or I was teaching a class that is not as advanced as you guys are, I would have let them call this sentence as Jumlatul Haliya, and I would have not said a word to them. I would have, I would have been totally fine with calling. The first instinct of ours is to call sentences like such as the Jumla Haliya because, it has an ayat. There is a Sahibul Hal. We can call our munafiqeen wal munafiqat wal mushrikeen wal mushrikat as our Sahibul Hal. Yes, and there would have been no issue with that. Yeah. But as we go to more advanced classes, then you find that there are more you do the grammar, more the hidden aspects of grammar comes becomes more apparent to you, that oh, then this can be something, that there may be a hidden question there that this part of the verse is answering. And inshallah, probably in future we may be covering those aspects as well, but for now calling it istinaf alone would suffice. And if someone wants to call it jumla halia, calling it the hal, I would not call it incorrect either. Okay. I hope that answers your question. So I have now verse
Okay,
number.
and then another question. Sister Simon, another question. So if I say وَغَضِبَ this wow is actually atf on yu'adhiba. This wow is because I need to find out what is the ayat for alayhim. Who are they? These who are Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cursing upon. So if I say that this is atf on yu'adhiba, so that would also be right?
I will not do so. I will not do so. I will not make something very simple into something very complicated. No, I would not do that, because I have, lamu talil with the reason behind it. This is not the reason for you aziba. No, it is not giving you the reason. It is giving you something else is going to happen, and so that he punishes the munafiqeen, and so that no, that's if that would have been the intent, then you will find
Okay.
liyaghdaba, something like that, right? It would have been like that, right?
Okay, got it. Yeah, got
But
it. Got it.
here you are
Yeah, got
seeing
it. Yeah,
there's a
Jazakallah khairan.
change. I mean, Vayaki, there's a change. So we'll just continue with with the change, and will not connect it to you aziba by any means. Okay, inshallah. Barakallahu fiki, my dear sisters. And now I have, I think, for verse number 7, 8, and 9, I have Sister Diba with me. So let's hear from Sister Diba.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Walillahi junudus samawati wal ard. This is, I think, wow is istinaf. So this jumla ismiya is la mahlalaha min al-irab. And lillahi jar majrur mutallik bil khabar or shibu jumla khabar muqaddam. And junudus samawati mubtada muakkar. And here taqdim the khabar because it can be two reasons. It is jayez because one is because it's the mubtada is ma'rifa for the mudafilahi, and another is mubtada has the mudafilahi. So two purpose it can be jayez.
Yeah, but here we will go with, remember, as we have covered in the last session when Sister Faiza was doing it, that there is a taqdeemul khabar jawazan And here
Yeah.
we'll take the case number 1, right? It is,
Number 1.
guys,
Okay.
a
So Marifa.
so, and
Consider Marifa.
it is, it's going to be just, taqdeem is going to be just jaiz here. Very well done.
Jai. Yeah.
Very good
And
job.
then al-ardi is mautufun ala samawat,
Very good job.
and so that it take the jar status. And then okan allahu azizan hakima, this wow, it can be also hal, right, sister? It's though the last time
Yeah,
it will be istinaf.
or
Or
you can just connect it, how you called it, the first one is the enough. You can just connect this verse with the previous verse, thinking that it's a continuation of the previous verse through atf. You can just
okay, so
call it a simple atf. I want you to, just for the students who are learning from these sessions, for the clarity of everyone, sister Diba, can I ever say that this al-ardi is mudaf ilayhi, this al-ardi?
no,
Barakallah.
because wow, it is there.
Very well done. Because there can never be anything that can come between mudaf and mudaf ilayhi. You are only going to call it majroor bil atf. Majroor bil atf. And this as-samawati is going to be called majroor bil idafa. So these small terms, by just using majroor bil atf, majroor bil idafa, is going to bring so much clarity. And sometimes, when I was the beginner student in kindergarten of my grammar class, um, I did not know any difference. I may would think that that as-samawat is mudaf ilayhi for junud, and so is al-ard, but that's not true. That's not true. This al-ardi is majroor bil atf because of waw atf. This is going to be jar in status. It is never ever going to be the mudaf ilayhi. It's never going to be labeled as mudaf ilayhi for junud. When you see the word junud, what's the singular for this word? Do you remember?
No, sister.
Jund.
It's Jund. Yeah,
Jund.
yeah, it's
So
a
very
Jund.
well
Yeah.
done. It's Jund. And when you see words like Jund, Al, Qaum, Annas, what type of, in terms of number, what types of words are these?
This is it's Jama.
Yeah, Isam Jama. Very good.
Isam Jama. Yeah.
Yeah, very well done. This is Isam Jama. And I just, I wanted everyone to remember and review how we have covered in this course different types of plural. Your plural can be masculine sound plural or feminine sound plural. And Sister Fashabi showed us example of sound plurals in the words that she has attempted, and we found sound feminine and masculine plurals being al-munafiqina, al-munafiqat, al-mushrikina, wal-mushrikat. When it comes to the broken plural, we have this word junud as a broken plural, right? If I call it the jama for jund, junud is going to be considered as a broken plural, right? When it comes to jama, as Sister Diba has said, your jund falls in the category of this collective noun that always has plural meaning, looks like a singular word, but always has a plural meaning. And it can have a dual, it can have a plural for itself. So jund has a plural junud, and hizb has a plural ahzab that you have seen in Quran, and there are very many different examples as well. So I will let you continue with verse number 8, Sister Diba.
So, Wakana Allahu Azizan Hakima, will I skip this one?
Oh, no. Sorry. I'm sorry. My apologies.
Okay. And there is like this Sister Faiza did last class also. Wakana Allahu. This is Kana. It's come in here. It's like it's a nakis form, nakis verb. And so Allahu, I can say it's ism. Kana, and kana came in when the nakis form, then it's come in a jumla ismiya sentence, and it makes the khabar nasab status. So it's also nasikha. So azizan is the khabar 1, and hakiman is the khabar 2. As they both are the attribution, so we cannot say the sifat mausuf sifat.
Very well done. They cannot be
Yes.
mawsuf or sifa for each other despite having all four properties that are matching. They cannot be called mawsuf sifa. You're going to call Azizan, as Sister Diba is telling you all. It's going to be khabar 1. Hakiman is going to be labeled as khabar 2. Very, very well done.
Okay.
And this sentence is
Is also la mahla laha because it's I say the ma'tufun ala the previous sentence lillahi junudun, right?
very good job. So if your jumla is istinafiya, it's going to be la mahalla. And if your jumla is matuf ala jumla istinafiya or any sentence that is la mahalla, your that matuf sentence is going to be la mahalla laha min al-i'rab as well. Very, very well done. Now let's continue
And then
with
yeah, the second form IR 8 inna arsalnaka shahidan. Inna here is the harf nasab and it's nasikha also because it's also abolished the isom mubtada become nasab status and that's why we say not mubtada, we say isom inna and isom inna can be long distance only for the if there is jar majrur or if the zarf and mudafilahi. Here is not this case, so here the attached pronoun in side by side. Yeah, inna, and it is isam inna and arsalnaka. This is the khabur inna, where it is jumla failure. And arsalnaka shahidan. Arsalna, this fail is form 4 babi ifal arsala yursilu, and here is the file is barij nahnu, and ka is maful bihi, and it is here it is wajib to attach to the pronoun as it is so maful bihi is, but it is file is also inside in
yeah, no,
so,
we don't worry about that
about this.
here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Everything
yeah,
is in order, right?
yeah,
Because
normal. Yeah,
when your damir is your file, when your
yeah,
damir is your file, you don't need to worry about your taqdeem wa ta'khir. If your
yeah,
file
yeah,
is some zahir, then
yeah,
and you have damir muttasil as maful bihi, in that case, we will find taqdeem wajib of maful bihi alal file, right?
yeah,
Here the file is not ism zahir, it is the ism damir, so we don't need to worry about taqdeem wa ta'khir, right? It's a normal
yeah,
case. Yes, as Sister
yeah,
Dilruba is
yeah.
also typing. So shahidan.
Shahidan is the hal of ka. This is it is pronounced is the sohibul hal, and here is the hal is it's mufradism. And we know that a hal question is how, and there is the answer. And we know the for the mufrad ism, it is always nasab status, and if the sentence, then it will be fi mahli nasab. And here also the mufrad ism, it's match the sohibul hal number and gender. And here the ka and shahidan both at the singular and both at the masculine. So they miss also this thing. And I really this because my homework was about the hal. So all the thing I described, sister, or not
That's
about the
fine.
hal.
Yeah. So you already, alhamdulillah, have described how the ka is the sahibul hal. In a normal case, sahibul hal, as you are saying, is going to be proper. And when mufradism is coming up as a hal, mufradism has to be matching with the sahibul hal in number and gender, which is true in this case. Shahidan is
Yeah.
singular and, as you said, and is masculine,
Yeah.
like a ka.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about this kaf? Is kaf always going to be ism? The kaful khitab, when it comes to kafil khitab, is it going to be always ism, or can it be harf at times?
Yeah, it can be also half.
That's fine.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Barakallahu fiki. Yes, it can be harf.
Yeah.
It can be harf.
Yeah.
So
Here is some pronoun.
here it is ism. Here it is ism. And I'm going to ask someone from the class to come and enumerate all cases. If you are ready, you type one there, and I can pick you after Sister Diba is done with her verse. Okay, inshallah. So now, Sister Diba, you are connecting Shahidan with
Yeah.
Mubashiran.
Yeah. And here is the mufradism. So we for the hal, so we don't need the wow halia.
Very good job. Very good point.
And Yes, then Mubashiran, Mautufun ala Shahidan. That's why it's take Nasab status. It's not for the house. And Naziran also Mautufun ala Shahidan.
Very well done. Beautiful job. So here, everything, and you notice here, the warner and the giver of the good news. Is the warner giving of warnings, giving of threats, giver of threats, the same as the giver of a good news? There is a opposite action, the right giver of a good news, one who gives the good news, one who gives the warnings. There are two different type of actions. Therefore, how beautifully we are seeing wow in between these two, words. Otherwise, it could have been just like Aziz and Hakiman if they were, the same in the same along the same lines. But since there are two opposite actions, you are seeing wow in between. Then Shahidan is also, not entirely in line with a person who is Mubashir or who is Nazir. Therefore, you are seeing a wow in between Shahidan and Mubashiran. The one who is going to be witnessing against you, one day, and who is witnessing everything. Now, before witnessing everything, he was the same very person who was giving you the good news, and he was also trying to save you from all the dangers, all the harms that you can put yourself into, right? He was extreme well-wisher who has been doing it throughout his life, right? Nazir is a fa'il patron, and and now, that person on the day of judgment is going to be witnessing not against his ummah, but the ummahs of previous prophets as well. So, there is something which is coming here where, you are seeing something that is not the same. The same prophet is going to be made shahid, against his ummah. He is going to be brought as shahidan, right? So keep the context in mind and see how, the words are separated with wow when they are not in alignment with each other. Just, as Aziz were in alignment with, a complete, they align together, therefore there is no wow needed. But here the wow was needed because of the, different aspects of, of the duties that were assigned to our beloved prophet.
Yeah.
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
And here Shahidan is the some file form one pattern.
So, we will do in the
Sarnat?
the
Okay, then
the
the
last.
little
And I will,
okay.
I will be assigning you the same surf verses that you are going to be, attempting right now. You will be given the surf on the same,
Okay.
and keep it till the end, inshallah. Okay.
Okay.
Now I will go.
Then litu mina. Then the litu minu lamu talil and there is an mudmara and tu minu is so the nun drop nun irab drop for the an and so I can say the li an tu minu this the masdar mawal fi mahli jar for li and if I say that only fil tu minu it's nasab for an. And if I say that, just I say because for my also is it true, right? So if I say the whole thing like the sila of the an, then it will be la mahlalaha, right?
Yeah, sila of an is la mahlalaha min al-i'rab. When sister Diba puts in context everything together with li plus an plus tu'minu billahi wa rasulihi, she is saying the masdar al-mu'awwal is going to be jar because of li. The whole masdar al-mu'awwal an plus fail is fi mahalli jar bilamu ta'lil. When she, and this whole jar wal majroor is going to be what?
Mutalik bil arsal na.
Very well done. Barakallahu fiki. How are you going to connect?
And billahi jar majrur mutalik bil tu'minu. And or rasulihi is mautufun ala Allah. Rasuli is mautufun ala Allah. And he is huwa mudaf and he is the mudaf ilahi.
Very good job.
And then tu'azziruhu, this is also nasab for mautufun ala tu'minu. So the nun irab is dropped. And who is the mudaf ilahi? Sorry, maful bihi. tu'azziruhu, and then wa tuwakkiruhu, this also the mawtufun ala tu'minu, and so the nun drop, it's nasab, and who is the maful bihi, wa tusabbihuhu, this also mawtufun ala tu'minu, and nun drop for that nasab status, and who is the maful bihi. Bukratan is zorf. Here I have question. So is it, can I say it is connected with tusabbihu? So can I say it's mutallik bil tusabbihu or maful fihi? Both?
Both you are going to be the right answers. Both are right.
Okay.
You can say, call it mafulun fihi, mansoob, mafulun fihi, mansoob, and it is going to be muta'alliq bil fail tusabbihu.
Yeah. And wa asilan is also mawtufun ala bukratan.
Very good job. Very well done. Barakallahu feek. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Anyone has any questions so far? So Sister Diba has connected verse number 8 and 9 and have put everything together. If I ask you, Sister Diba, what will be the status of this whole chunk? What is the answer for that?
Whole chunk 8 and 9 is istinaf. So it's la mahala laha min al-i'rab.
No, I'm saying arsalnaka.
Oh, so that's arsalnaka. Yeah, it's fi mahalli rafin because it's khabar inna.
Very well done. Beautiful job. Khabar of inna is always raf in status. If it is a mufrad ism, it is just raf. If it is a sentence, we call it fi mahalli rafin, as my dear sisters are typing there. And Sister Diba is already saying here on the mic. Barakallahu fiki, my dear sister. I don't think we have left anything here, right? We have covered each and every aspect of this verse. So now I have verse number 10. And so verse number 10. Do you want are we so this was something that was assigned I think 1 second. I think I have assigned it to Sister Zohra, I think, and I was told 1 second. Who was supposed to do this verse? Okay. Oh, Sister Salma or Sister Zohra. So I think you guys are not prepared with that. So I can continue. I will ask the questions from each and every one of you, and you guys can do it together. Okay, we can all do it together. Okay, if nobody volunteers for this is a privilege, I would say. So make sure you take full advantage of that. Okay, always remember to take full advantage of this opportunity, because this opportunity is not everlasting. Sister Faiza, if you want to volunteer, you can come. Otherwise, I would do it with all the sisters together. You can unmute yourself. Okay.
Inshallah, Sister Saima, before I go there, I was going to talk about Kaful Khitab, that you just asked the question about.
So the cases when Kaful Khitab
previous ayah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was able to remind myself about, yes.
Okay. So you want to go over the 4 cases of Kaful Khitab. And let me just bring the slide as well, so that everyone can see on while you are saying it. So you can start saying the cases when your Kaful Khitab is going to be a harf and not going to be an ism. So it is something that we have covered in our session number 149. So let's see. So Sister Faiza, I know your internet is very unstable, and right now
very unstable.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that in the morning session. So I know how it was. So so you can start.
So it is nasb in starter. It acts like an ism when it is nasb, and that we have seen the examples. It's coming with the fail, and also it can act as a harf in which there are 4 cases. And I'm seeing Sister Aisha has already put the 4 cases there, but I will go there. Oh yeah, slide is already up here. So I would love to go the slide. So when it is attached with the iya, we have learned there are 2 ways we interpret this word iyaka that we see in Surah Fatiha. One of them is.
So one of the ways how you treat your iya is that it is considered to be damir munfasil by itself, and whatever is coming attached to it, like ka, ki, kuma, kum, kunna, is going to be considered harf. Any pronoun,
Damir Muslim.
yeah, is going to be considered a harf. But the way that where we are going to call the iya and as an ism and ka as a harf is when we treat these two entities as separate words. We don't take them together. So if you consider iya as the damir munfasil by itself and you don't take them together, like iyaka being one ism, when you take them separately, then you call every pronoun that comes with iya as a harf. Okay, you are going to call every pronoun as a harf. It can be iyahu, iyaya, iyana. All these are going to be, all the pronouns that are attached to iya are going to be considered as harf when iya is the only word that is considered to be damir munfasil. Okay, if you are taking taking the word as a compound word as one ism, then it's going to be then you don't worry about anything. Then you just call it damir munfasil fi mahalli nasbin maf'ul bihi. Okay, so keep that in mind. The second case where your kaf can be kaful khitab is going to be har la mahalla laha min al-i'rab is when it is attached to your asmaul ishara. It can be any ism ishara, and you have many examples of that. Zalika, zalikuma, zalikum, zalikunna, tilka, tilkuma, tilkum. Anywhere that you find your kaf attached to ism ishara, the kaful khitab is going to be treated as harf la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Two cases you are going to find when your kaful khitab attached to ismu fail ala. Ismu fail ala, and ala in that case is taken in the meaning of ilzamu, to make something compulsory upon yourself. In that case, the kaf is going to be considered a harf la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. When you have kaful khitab and coming after taul khitab, your taul file, in all those cases, ra'itaka, ra'itakum, your kaf is going to be, your kaful khitab is going to be considered a harf, and it is going to be la muhalla laha min al-i'rab. Okay, is this clear to all of you? And does it remind of the session 149 where we have covered this concept, alhamdulillah, right? Where the four cases where your kaful khitab, which is a damir, otherwise is now no longer acting as a damir, it is acting as a harf la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. With that, I will have to end the session. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.